Alright guys, so before we even get started, before I even tell you, yeah, let's finish the other eye, let's just take a minute. Do you know how I feel about this? Oh, it's here! It's here! Oh my god, it's finally here. Like, just wait for it. Holy shit. Oh my god. It's beautiful. It's pure perfection. It's everything I could have wanted it to be. Okay. If you haven't noticed, I'm really freaking excited about this. When I was watching Jaclyn's reveal of her palette, I literally had tears in my eyes. Like, am I alright? Am I okay? Probably not, but I don't know, it made me very emotional. She obviously worked super hard on this. I'm not going to be doing so much of a review of this product. We're just going to kind of be doing a tutorial. It is actually inspired by the look that Jaclyn was wearing in her reveal video. And I just wanted to do like a basic smoky eye with this palette and see how that goes. And then probably play with it from there. You guys might see more videos with this. Just a quick little couple things, like congratulations Jaclyn, you're probably never gonna watch this, but holy shit, this is crazy, amazing, congratulations, you deserve all of this and your hard work. I think Jaclyn's an amazing artist and she's one of my favorite YouTubers, so that is the reason why I bought this. So just a couple of little things. I can't remember how much this cost me. I want to say it was around $71 Canadian. Luckily I wasn't charged with duties when I got here, but Morphe really upped their shipping charges. I think it was $23 just for me to ship it here, which is a little bit crazy, but you know, gotta support my girl Jaclyn. I was willing to pay it. And for the amount of product that you get in here, the pans are the same size as the other Morphe pans. They're huge and you get a lot of bang for your buck. It was just, by the time the conversion, by the time it shipped here, it was a little bit more on the expensive side. But that's okay. I was willing to do it. So as you can see, there is a wide range of shades in here, from neutrals to pops of colors to warm tones to a couple cool tones. And I think she just really included everything that you might need in this palette. The only thing I am a little bit sad about is the colors are actually on this card here. And the card's a lot smaller than what I thought it was going to be, like, in comparison to the palette. But I guess you don't need a giant card to take around with you to see the colors. And I'm only really keeping this because I like knowing the names of colors, and that way I can tell you guys what I'm using also. But I understand why they're not on the palette, because in order to have this many shades, she had to compromise something, and that was the names on the palette. So that's okay. Also, some of the shades don't seem like they're sitting in the palette exactly properly. If you can see, like, so the blue shade Twerk, you can see isn't exactly set in there properly. You can see the edge of it. But honestly, these are such minuscule things. As long as the eyeshadows stay in place, I don't really care if you can see the lining. There's a pan. It's honestly whatever. But I just wanted to point that out. The packaging is cardboard. It's silver, got Jaclyn's name in metallic silver writing, and then on the back it says Morphe Jaclyn Hill. Like I said, I'm not going to do like a huge review on the actual palette because there's a bajillion of those out there, but I just wanted to give a couple little points for you guys. But without further ado, let's just get into it. I have concealer on my eye already, and then I'm going to be using my Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Fix to prime my eyelids. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of this guy, blend it out with my beauty blender. And the only thing is, there isn't really a shade that's like super neutral to my skin tone to set it with, so I'm just going to be using some loose translucent powder, which is not a big deal to me anyways. So as you can see, I already have one eye done, so I have a little bit of, I have formed a little bit of an opinion about the shades that I've used, so I'll kind of let you know while I'm going along what my thoughts are and whatnot, and then maybe afterwards we'll do a couple swatches of some fun shades just to check them out. because I got this yesterday and I haven't really got to play around with it yet. So, other than today, and I haven't like swatched any of them or anything. So first I am going to be going in with the shade Silk Cream. Hold on. We all know I'm really bad at pointing here. Nope, there we go. So first I'm going to be going in with the shade Silk Cream, which is this neutral, warm, not quite medium brown, like it's more of a light brown. And I'm just going to be using this as my transition shade on my Urban Decay Smoky Smudger brush. And now I will say this is a very pretty transition shade. It's super easy to work with, super blendable. I will say there is a little bit of kickback, but I do not mind kickback if that means these shadows are going to be pigmented and blendable. Kickback, literally just blow it off your palette, call it a day, okay? It's not the end of the world. And I just keep building this up as I go. These blend out so nicely. I'm so impressed. I thought people were exaggerating, but like, wow. Like, honestly, effortless. This eyeshadow look really did not take me very long, considering it's like a dark smoky eye. It should have taken me so much longer, but these shadows blend out so easily. I didn't have to fight with them. They didn't get muddy. So as you can tell, I really like it so far. So I did bring this up quite high. And I'm also bringing it into the inner corner. So next, I am going to be taking the shade Buns, which is this warm medium brown color, and this is the color that Jaclyn put in the palette because of Linda. She actually didn't want this shade to be in here, and she said it's the shade that she uses like every day. So I'm taking a pretty big fluffy brush. This is a Morphe R37, and if there was any thoughts that any of you thought Morphe sponsored me, no. So I'm going to apply this a little bit lower in my crease. And again, this honestly just blends out so seamlessly and easily. I really don't even have to work at this. And then I'm just going to go back in with my original brush and just blend these out. I really don't even have to do this. It's just to make sure these are really nice and blown out, which they honestly already are. So that was easy. So next I'm going to go in with a little bit smaller and denser of a brush. So this is a Morphe M513, and I'm going to go in with the shade Mocha. This is dark fudgy warm brown shade, and I'm going to take this on my brush, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to apply it just to the outer corner, keeping it right in the crease and on the outer corner of my eye. And then this is the part that I struggled with the most. So Jaclyn, when she talked about this shade, she said, if you don't use this with a really wet brush or your finger, you're going to be really disappointed and think that there's no color payoff at all. So I did what she said. I used a really wet brush, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I kind of messed the shadow up a little bit. Like, I feel like I got it too wet. So it's the shade 24/7. You can see it here. It's a little bit, it looks a little bit messed up now. It wasn't the easiest shadow to work with when I used it. I definitely had to work at it. It does look really pretty now though. And there was a tiny bit of fallout. She said the reason why this doesn't have that much pigmentation right off the bat is because there's sparkle in it, and she wanted it packed really hard so there was no fallout. I had very minimal fallout. There was still a little bit, but I found it a lot more difficult to work with than the rest of the shade. So I'll pick some up on my brush, spray it with Fix Plus, Well, actually, I'm using my Urban Decay setting spray. Got it really wet, and then we'll pack it on the eye all over. Once it's on, it does look really, really pretty. It's just, you definitely have to work at it a little bit more. And compared to the other shadows that I used so far in the palette, it was a lot more difficult to work with. And then I'm going to be taking the shade right next to it, which is Meeks, which is a lighter shimmery brown shade, a little bit more gold. And I'm just going to take this on another flat brush and I'm going to pack it on the center of the lid. This shade is super pretty, super buttery. Just adds that little bit of highlight to the center of the eye. Now I find I get more fallout, not so much when applying the shadow, the first shadow 24/7. I find it's when I pack this on top, the Meeks color in the middle, that I get the most amount of fallout. So I'm actually just going to wet my brush just a little bit, just for some added shine. And that really kicks the shadow up. Just really brightens it. Okay, so we are just going to go back in with the color Mocha, which is the darkest matte shade that we've used. And I'm going to apply this to the outer corner, just over top of the 24/7 shade. And then taking it up into the crease again. Then I'm going to go back in with the second shade that we used in the crease, which was Buns. So this is the medium shade that we used, just to blend that shade out, just to blend the dark brown out. And then lastly, we are going to take the original shade that we used in the crease, or as our transition shade, which is Silk Cream, and just go over the edges. Next, we are going to do the lower lash line. So we are going to go in with a pencil brush. So I'm going to use the Morphe E18 brush, and going to take the shade Silk Cream to start off. And I'm going to take this from my outer corner, connecting it to the eyeshadow on the upper lid, to the inner corner. And I take this one down pretty far because it is quite a light shade. So next, going in with my Urban Decay Pro Smoky Smudger brush and the shade Buns. I'm literally just mimicking what I did in my crease on my lower lash line. And I'm keeping this closer to the actual lash line and bringing it down in almost as far, but not quite. Again, connecting it to the outer corner. And then lastly, taking a flat definer brush, so this is in Morphe M432, and the shade Mocha, which is the darkest shade that we used, and applying this to my actual lash line, just stamping it on the outer corner. So I'm going to take another small Morphe brush, so this is an ME36, and the shade in Light, which is the first shade in the palette here. And it is a kind of like a yellowy gold, yellowy white gold shimmer shade. So I'm going to apply this to the inner corner to brighten up the eye. And then I'm going to take a Morphe M213 brush and apply this to my underneath the arch of my brow. Wow, I had a really hard time saying that. Alright guys, so I'm just going to apply some false lashes and I'll be right back. The false lashes that I'm using today are the velour lashes in the style Strike a Pose. So they are quite a thick pair of lashes, and they're a little bit on the shorter side. So I will be right back. Alright guys, so I am back with lashes on, which really pull the whole look all together. I'm not used to seeing myself with smoky eyes, so like I kind of feel like this isn't me and like it's really dark, but it's fine. So we are going to channel our inner Jaclyn for the rest of this tutorial. Firstly though, we are going to complete the boring part. Not really boring, but like I'm going to keep it on the neutral side because of the eyes. So I'm going to be using the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in Exposed. This is my all-time favorite blush ever. And it's really neutral and just goes with everything and won't make me look, won't overdo the look. Okay, so now we are going to be channeling our inner Jaclyn. And by that I mean highlight and lip choice. So highlight, obviously we need something super poppin', extra glowy, see you from the universe. So this actually was a Jaclyn Hill recommendation, and this is the Makeup Forever Starlit Powder in the shade 13. And I'm going to be using my Morphe M510 brush, and we are going to become a disco ball. Okay, so there was a little bit too much on my brush there. We'll fix that in a minute. Right, well the highlight is definitely popping. Whoops. Alright, and then because you know Jaclyn, she loves a glossy lip, we are going to be using the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Aquarius. This has become my new obsession. Alright, so I'm actually going to mix some of the Buxom lip cream in the shade White Russian just to make it a little bit more nude. Alright guys, so that completes the tutorial. So let's swatch some of the fun colors that I didn't get to use today. Like I said, it's not going to be, I'm not going to swatch all of them, I just want to swatch some of them, see what they feel like. So let's swatch, obviously we're going to swatch Pool Party because how could we not? Yeah, so, I mean, wow. I'm gonna have to use that one day. Let's also swatch this one, which is Obsessed. This is the shade in the palette that Jaclyn took the longest to make. She said it was the most difficult shade in the whole palette. Okay, let's swatch some of the other colors. So let's swatch Hunts, which is this matte orangey shade right here that she named after Linda because she helped her with this shade. Very pigmented. Wow, my swatches suck. But very pigmented, very buttery. And then let's swatch, these greens are speaking to me, so let's swatch the shimmery green shade here, which is called Diva. Holy guacamole! Wow. Okay. Beautiful. Let's swatch another matte. Which matte should we swatch? Let's swatch Roxanne, which is the more red shade right here. Sorry, I didn't think to get a makeup wipe before I did this, and now I'm making a huge mess. Wow. Alright guys, so that is really it. I'm not going to swatch everything. You can go check out other videos for that. You can check out Jaclyn's video for that. The shades that I used so far today and the ones that I swatched are very, very pretty, very blendable, very creamy. Obviously, I've already repeated myself 18 times with the exception of 24/7, which I found a little bit more difficult. But I just want to check my eyeshadow out in the mirror up close, and I absolutely love it. Like I said, no harsh lines, blended out so easily, and I'm not just saying that because of the hype. I haven't watched any other videos using her stuff other than hers, because I didn't want anything else to change my opinion. So yeah, I think this is an awesome, awesome palette. It sucks for us Canadians though, with the exchange and with the shipping price, how much it was. I get it that she used Morphe so that it was more affordable for everybody. It was a little bit on the pricier side if you were shipping internationally, but if you lived in America, it was crazy cheap, and I don't know why you didn't get it. And if you haven't got it, pick it up. But I'm going to say I am super happy that I made this purchase. I personally think it's worth the money for me, and I can see myself traveling with this palette. It's got everything that you need in it, from transition shades to deepening shades to pops of color to black to literally everything. So it seems like a one-stop shop palette. And overall, congratulations, Jaclyn. You did an amazing job. You worked so hard, and you totally deserve everything that you get out of this. Minus the negativity, because that's just rude, people. But yeah, overall, great palette. I will definitely continue using it, and you will most likely be seeing another tutorial with it, because you can do a whole lot of stuff with this. So, if you guys liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos from me in the future, and we will see you all again very soon. Bye everyone!